Let's get right into it. Chapter 115 Support. So, disclaimer, this video has massive spoilers for the Attack on Titan manga. So, I'm not sure why you're here if you're not caught up, but there's your warning. Alright, so let's get into it. After that major Blue Balls cliffhanger, we finally get some answers on who survived, which is Levi or Zeke. Though, can I just say, the horse that was drawn, I really like how it was drawn. Anyways, so we get to see the perspective of Zeke after the explosion of the Thunder Spear. He's completely out of it, almost blind. Though we cut back into a flashback he had with Xavier. Xavier discovered a way to get past the war renounce vow that the founding Titan has. Though we already know what that little hint is. It's by bringing together a person of royal blood in contact with the holder of the founding Titan who isn't of royal blood, like Eren and the Smiling Titan did before. Now, it was kind of touching to see Zeke and Xavier's last moments before he inherited the Beast Titan. Like, even Zeke called him his dad. As we know from the previous chapter, Zeke had a troubled childhood and wasn't seen as a child by Grisha, but as a tool for the Restorationists. So Xavier was really his father figure. So this was a pivotal moment, I would say, to seeing Zeke's more human side. Because he was very mysterious before, but not anymore. And a lot of people are like 50-50 on his new character, though I really like it. I liked his mysterious enigma, but I still like to see his perspective on the world. And even if I don't agree with his actions and his ideologies, I still understand them. Like, they make sense, right? Though it could be done better, I guess. And then we get another flashback in another flashback. And it shows us for the first time Zeke hearing the existence of Eren Yeager from Reiner and Bertolt, his half-brother, and he seemed troubled by it. And, he genuinely wants to save him. Before, we weren't sure what Zeke wanted with Eren, but it seems that he really does want to save him, and he feels bad for him because he probably grew up the same way he did with Grisha, and that he's all brainwashed and all that. And then we cut into the Marley days with Eren, and we finally get to see the long-awaited conversation that we've wanted since like chapter 100 that Eren and Zeke had. It took us 15 chapters to get there, but hey, we're here, dude. And it's very interesting. Eren knows of Zeke's plan. He heard it from Yelena, and he still meets with him. So this makes Zeke think that, hey, alright, you agree with what I want, so you want to help me out? And, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I believe he's betraying Zeke. He's definitely gonna debate him at the end, and he just wants Zeke to trust him because Zeke is the catalyst for the founding Titan that Eren, that he needs him, right? He can't complete his mission without having someone of royal blood that is a Titan too. Instead of, he could sacrifice Historia and get her trust, but that would mean Historia would die. So Zeke's already here. Why do you have to do that? So yeah, he has to get Zeke's complete trust. And honestly, it's kind of bittersweet that one will eventually be betrayed by the one person they trust, being Zeke trusting Eren, and the other, which is Eren, will lose the trust of his brother after this betrayal occurs. And it's gonna be an interesting panel. He completely says the opposite of what he believes in, right? Eren, that is. He doesn't believe in the euthanization of Eldia like Zeke does. He does believe that all Eldians are born into this world and have a right to live in. Like, this was a main theme in the early days for Eren, especially in chapter 100 when Willie mentions it, that he was born to this world. This really sparked Eren and made him go forward with his plan. So I really do believe that Eren, everything he said in this panel was all like bullshit. Like, it's not happening, dude. He just wants Zeke on his side. That's it. And though I do believe that his dream being to wipe out all Titans, that is still a possibility and will still happen at the end. So we know that all Eldians are a branch of the founding Titan that we were told before by Xavier. So Eren could technically, using the Founding Titan and Zeke, sever the link of the path system that we have between Eldians and the Founding Titan, and that could remove all Eldians from it. And by doing so, he could remove the 2,000-year curse of the Titan bloodline. Like, I don't know, it's kind of confusing, but tell me what you guys think. So, like, basically, to summarize it, he's gonna cut the link between Eldia and Titans. That way, all Titans will be wiped out, and Eldia will no longer be able to transform into Titans. Though there's still, issues with that. And it doesn't really fix the political issue that they have with the world, so it's I'm not really sure how the story's gonna go moving forward. Then we have a flashback with "We will save everyone," or at least the flashback ends with "We will save everyone." Sorry. And when he says that, right? Eren and Zeke do believe that they will save everyone, though we don't really know what Zeke's plan is. We just know that it's called euthanization. That's all we know. But what does Zeke really believe in? Like, what it could be to cut Eldia from the path system, and there'll be no more Eldians, but just people from paradise, and no longer people of Ymir or subjects of Ymir. You know what I mean? So like, we don't actually know 100%. So I'd like for Zeke to get into it more, maybe, Anyways, we go back to the present. Zeke begins to fade out, almost dead, and suddenly a girl appears, holding a bucket, wearing old, rugged clothes. At first, I'm thinking, hey, maybe she's just a passing girl from a nearby village, and Zeke might have just, put his Titan serum into their waters, like Connie's village. And that's where the Titan that randomly came out, it was her. But it seems that it was just a Titan out of nowhere, like a miracle, that just popped out and had a weird, sad expression on its face, at least to me, and then begins crawling up to Zeke, puts it in his stomach. Now, this is obviously the acts of an abnormal Titan, or at least a Titan that was commanded to do these actions. Like, a normal Titan would not do these. So it's interesting, and I don't think this is one of the Titans that was part of Levi's team that wasn't killed by Levi. I think this one just came out of nowhere, and I have more about this, and I want to get into it. Let's just let me just get into the part of Shiganshina we got before I get into that. We see the opposers of the Jaegerists being branded with armbands, same as Marley, which is really ironic because they don't believe in Marley, but they're doing the same thing they're doing, and they're executing anyone that opposes the Jaegerists. I think that's a little too extreme. I'm not sure what they're thinking. I'm not sure if Eren believes in this, or if this is just Yelena controlling, the strings behind his back, or I don't know. I just don't believe Eren knows about this or believes in this ideology, at least. So we know that black ribbons are traitors and wine serum drinkers who drank it without knowing they're drinking it. They just thought they're drinking wine. Then we know there's the red cloth being those who were forced into submission and were forced to drink the wine. And we know the white cloth are people who willingly joined without drinking anything. Then Yelena starts yapping about, Zeke is a god, blah, blah, blah. She always does that. Honestly, I don't understand her character that much. It's very one-dimensional. She just worships Zeke, and I think Eren too. I don't understand her that well. And honestly, I don't like her that well either. I hope we get more into her character. She just seems a little bit crazy, and I'm not a big fan of her. Though, yeah. That's all we got from this scene, and I hope Pixis won't die. I think he might, or if something happens next chapter, maybe the war starts, I guess. Then we get back into the area with the cart exploding. Hanji and the Jaegerists, they arrive. She notices the body being Levi's. He is injured. He's fucked up. He's critical health, everything. He's almost dead. Though when she grabbed him, doesn't seem like he's dead. She's just worried about him. I think she felt a pulse. When I looked at Levi, he was injured. It seems he lost his right eye, which is funny because she lost her left eye, so I think that's pretty interesting. Then he has this huge scar. It looks really cool. if he comes back, and he lost 2 fingers. At least that's what we see. He could have lost his hand, his arm, not sure, but we only saw 2 fingers that weren't on him. Though luckily they were interrupted by the Titans steaming up randomly, and that gave Hanji a chance to grab Levi and jump into the river and escape. So I'm not sure how they're gonna escape that fast in water while there's guns being shot at them, but I guess, whatever. Though here's the thing, I really don't know how Levi is gonna be revived or healed. I think they're close to Historia's house, so this could be interesting for us to move into more of Historia action and dialogue. I guess she knows some medicine. Maybe she probably could heal him. Though I really don't want Titan Serum being the go-to heal factor for him. I don't think Ackermans can become Titans anyways. Like, I don't think we need to worry about that. We know that they weren't affected by the Founding Titan. That's why they were persecuted. So if you weren't affected by the Founding Titan, that means you aren't affected by the path system, which means you aren't affected by the curse of the Titans. I think it's safe to assume Levi Titan Serum is a no-go, which I hope it is, because I really don't want to be a Titan. Then we go to the... Zeke finally walks out of the Titan. I don't know how. He's fully healed. Looks like a god, literally reborn. Like, he was dead, and now he's back in good shape. He looks out of it. Like, he doesn't know what just happened. He tells us he visited an unknown area. It was like a dream. Felt like a long time, but ended in a second. Though here's the interesting part. It was the same area that Ymir, the previous Jaw Titan, she visited that same area once she became a shifter. Which is interesting because I was always like wondering, how did she end up in the desert in the Paradis? Because there's no desert there, so it was very confusing for me. Though I'm glad we finally got answers. When he was in that area, he was saved by that girl he saw earlier. She started to like build him up with sand. Like, it was weird. Like, I'm not sure what happened there, but here's what I think. Like, this is my favorite part of the chapter. It was like really cool. I'm pretty sure, or at least convinced, that was the Ymir, not Ymir the Jaw Titan, but Ymir the first Founding Titan. The girl who made a deal with the devil, who created everything 2,000 years ago. I mean, created the Titans, right? I think her consciousness is stuck there for the past 2,000 years, and she's been the one, the omnipotent hand of fate controlling everything with the strings of fate across the story so far. It sounds weird, but just hear me out. So, like, we have these events that happened that felt really coincidental, like too bizarre to not be controlled. Like, we have Eren being the Smiling Titan. Like, what's the odds of Eren being the Smiling Titan at that specific moment and him activating the coordinate? And then we have Zeke being saved by that Mindless Titan earlier, which came out of nowhere. It just seems that this little Ymir is controlling everything, and she wants Eren to succeed, and she knows that he needs Zeke. That's why she saved Zeke as well. So maybe she lives on through the path and the island, because we know the island's made of Titan crystals, right? Beneath them, there's a lot of crystals. Make what you want out of that. But I'm pretty sure, or okay, I don't want to say I'm pretty sure. I really believe she created the island, right? Because the island came out of nowhere. It's out of crystals. I don't know. It feels like Titans made it, so I think she made it, or at least, like, I'm not saying the whole island's her body. So I think she created it with her Founding Titan powers. And maybe she lives on through that. Or maybe she just lives on through the path system, and that's it. So she still controls the island through the path, maybe? I don't know. Hey, it's interesting. I hope we get more of it. But it was definitely my favorite part of the chapter, and honestly, this is why this is my favorite chapter in a long time. Like, 100%. I just love it. Lastly, we get into the cell Gabby is in. Still ignorant. She still calls them devils. Honestly, I know Gabby gets a lot of hate, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I think she's interesting. She's literally Eren. So if you say you hate Gabby, you just hate Eren, right? I mean, I don't know. Gabby feels the same way Eren does. She experienced the same childhood that Eren experienced. At least, now. She was her home. Her home was attacked by invaders, same as Eren, and you can't really blame her for hating them. Everyone she loves died. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people. And it's just she's a kid at the end of the day. Can't really blame her, but she has more growth than Eren. I mean, potential growth than Eren because yes, she's a kid, but she's learning more about how the world works as a kid, as opposed to Eren's, hey, I want to fight everyone. And that's it. So there's definitely more growth for her, and I'm really excited to see how Izuyama, develops her character moving on. Yeah, the best part of this chapter, or at least the best, one-liner is, the brat who killed Sasha. Eren just comes in there, tells that to Gabby. That's Gabby's new name, right? And he wants her to he wants to use her as a tool to bring out the hiding warriors that infiltrated the island. I'm not sure how he knows they're on the island. It's interesting. He knows somehow though. And then when I was reading that panel, one of the guards behind him, I was like, wait, is that Peak? It looks like Peak, but it can't be, right? Because how did Eren not notice or whatever? I mean, I guess Eren wouldn't know. Maybe he would. I'm not sure how she looks like. But she's standing right next to him, and then right immediately after, Peak slashes this dude's throat. I'm like, oh boy, dude, best girl is finally here. I was excited, dude. And that's it. That's the cliffhanger. She comes out. She points a gun at Eren. She's like, yo, you're Eren Yeager. And they're gonna talk. Now here's the interesting part of the chapter. What are they gonna talk about? I was reading some comments, discussions by other users. There's one comment that was brought up by, I believe, HK on the subreddit. He was talking about how it'd be really cool if Eren and Peak have planned this out and they're gonna talk about how to end the war. Honestly, that'd be really cool because in this way, it would seem that Eren is gonna be controlling the warriors, the Jaegerists, and I guess the scouts too, putting them all up against each other in this final climactic war. And honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen. Izuyama keeps blowing my mind every chapter. It's ending. We know it's ending, and it's gonna be one hell of a ride. And honestly, chapter 120, I'm calling it right now. It's always at the 10th chapter. Something big's gonna happen, and I would bet Andy's gonna come back. I'm calling it right now, dude. 120, Andy comes back. I don't know how. I don't know why, but that's all. Thanks for watching.